this is the homework solution. This is going to be covering the perpendicular part of the test review. This is for the chapter 3 and 4 part 2 test review. These are your solutions, okay? This is going to be covering 12 through 16. We have 12 through 15 on the board. It says, write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through the given point and is perpendicular, key point, perpendicular to the graph of each equation. We have here 12, okay, number 12, the points 2, comma 4, and the equation is y equals to 3x plus 1, okay? So what's the slope here? The slope here is 3, so the new slope, right, the perpendicular slope is negative 1 over 3, which is the opposite reciprocal, okay? Let me help you to remember that, okay? So my original equation was 3, right? This is my original slope, okay, which is 3. To do the opposite reciprocal, I have to first flip it, okay, so it becomes 1 over 3. Then I change the sign. This is a positive, so it becomes a negative, okay? Do you see? Here, right, this is the original slope. Here I flip it, which is the reciprocal. Then I do the opposite, right? The opposite of addition is subtraction. So here's the opposite, right? This is your opposite reciprocal. Good? That is how I got m is the perpendicular slope is equal to negative 1 over 3. Good? Good? Alright. So here again, x1 equals 2, y1 becomes 4. M perpendicular is negative 1 over 3. Right? Point slope is the only equation I am going to use because I have a point, 2 comma 4, and a slope, which is negative 1 over 3. Right? Make that substitution. Y1 becomes 4. M perpendicular is negative 1 over 3. And x1 is 2. Okay? Distribute that in. Negative 1/3 times x is negative 1/3 x. Negative 1/3 times 2 is 2 over 3. Positive, right? A negative times a negative is a positive. Add 4 to both sides. Then you should have gotten y equals to negative 1 over 3x plus 1 over 4. Notice this, right? Oops, sorry. I highlighted way too much. Notice that this is the opposite reciprocal of that. That is the definition of perpendicular. Okay? Let's do the next one. 13. 1 comma 3. It's the point, and the equation is y equals to negative 2x minus 4. Right? Let's just bring this up. Let's clean this up a bit. Okay. Alright, let's do that again. So my original slope here is negative 2. Okay? This is my slope. I'm going to flip it first. Okay? So let me flip it. That becomes 1 over negative 2. Now I want to do the opposite of the sign. Right? This is negative, so it's going to become a positive, which is 1 over 2. Good? Okay? So the slope here should be 1 over 2. There you go. Here's my point. 1 for x1. y1 is 3. My perpendicular slope is 1/2. Point slope, make that substitution. Y minus 3, which is y1. Slope is 1/2, x minus 1. Okay, 1 is x1. Okay, distribute that in. 1/2 x times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times negative 1 is negative 1/2. Add 3 to both sides. You should simplify. Y equals to 1 over 2x plus 7 over 2. Right? The fraction is pretty ugly, so just use a calculator. Negative 1/2 plus 3. The calculator should chunk this out here. Okay, make sure you're able to convert from a fraction to a decimal into a fraction. Okay, good. Okay, let's do 14. Okay, 14. Okay, here's the point, and here's the slope. Okay, let's find the perpendicular slope. Okay, whoa, whoa. Okay, here you go. Let's clean this up a little bit. Alright. Okay. The original slope here is 1/3. Here's my slope. Okay. Let's flip it. Alright, that's the reciprocal. Becomes 3/1. Right? But we don't really write the 3/1. We can just write it as 3. Then you want to do the opposite. Okay? What is the opposite of +3? Which is -3. There you go. That is your slope. That is your perpendicular slope. There you go. The original slope is 1/3, so the perpendicular slope is -3. Here's your point. X1 is -5, Y1 is 2. Perpendicular slope is -3. Use point slope because I have a point and I have a slope, so I use point slope. Make that substitution. Y minus 2 because that is Y1. M, I plug in that slope, which is -3. A minus, right, because it says minus here. X1 is -5, -5 here. Okay, now I make that simplification. The subtract the negative is just an addition. Okay, distribute that in. -3 times x is -3x. -3 times 5 is -15. Add 2 to both sides and simplify. It becomes y equals to -3x minus 13. Good. Let's do number 15 now. Okay, the point's 3, 0, and the slope here is -1/2. Okay. Alright, let's just grab this up. M is equal to -1/2. Whoa, that's ugly. Yeah, that's better. Okay, here's your slope. Okay, let's flip it. Okay, -2/1. Okay, then I want to do the opposite. The opposite of negative is a positive, so that becomes 2/1. Okay, we don't really write it's 2/1, but we don't care about the over 1, right? So the slope should be 2, right? After we do the opposite reciprocal. So the perpendicular slope here is 2. Good, there you go. Here's the points, 3 for x1, y1 is 0, perpendicular slope is 2. Point slope form, y minus 0, because that is y1. M is 2, x1 is 3. Okay, distribute in. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is -6. Add 0 to both sides. Y is equal to 2x minus 6. There you go. Okay, the next one is a word problem, I believe. Yes, here it is. Okay, let me get this there. There you go. Number 16. The Park and Recreational Department is constructing a new bikeway path. The new path is parallel. Ooh, that's a key word right there. Parallel. Okay, to the railroad. Write an equation that represents the new path. Right, look at before. I need to write a what? An equation. So I'm probably going to use y equals mx plus b. Okay? Right? Slope-intercept form. Alright, so my first thing is always to find the slope. I need to find the slope of this. Okay? So let me just pull this up. Okay. There you go. I need to find the slope here. So there's multiple ways you can do it. Remember, slope is defined as your change of y over your change of x. What is y changing, right? From 8 to what? So 8 comma 0, and 11/4. So how much is y changing? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So do you see how this is changing 4 times? Right? How much is changing in the x direction? Let's make that blue. Okay. 1, 2, 3. It looks like the slope here is 4/3. Okay, that's if we want to use the graph. Okay, so I have the slope as 4/3. I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to use the equation this time. So x1 is 8, y1 is 0, x2 11, y2 is 4. That's just labeling your information. Slope formula, right? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? This is right, change of y over change of x. This is just the formula notation, right? 4 minus 0, which is y2 minus 1, then 11 minus 8, which is x2 minus x1, right? Breaks down, 4 minus 0 becomes 4, 11 minus 8 is 3. So again, does that match up? 4 over 3, good, right? We do it two different methods and we still got the same answer, so our slope must be correct. Good, right? Now I have the slope, now I want to use point slope. Remember, the slope here is 4 over 3. Right? Look at the railroad. Whoa, sorry. The railroad here. Do you see how the slope here is 4 over 3? So the new line, let's make this, right? That new line is also going to have the same slope, right? It's going to have that same slope of, that looks pretty bad, right? It should have that same slope, okay? It should be, because it's parallel, okay? For it to have the same slope, right? M parallel has to be 4 over 3 because that's the same slope, right? Label your information. X1 is 4 and Y1 is 5. How did I get that? Right here, point 4 comma 5. There you go. And M parallel is 4 over 3 because, again, this is 4 over 3, which is the slope. And, again, it has to be parallel. That's why the slopes are the same. Good. Point slope equation, y minus y1 equals to m parentheses x minus x1. Make that substitution. Y1 is 5. X1 here is 4. The slope here is 4 over 3. Distribute 4 over 3 times x is 4 over 3x. 4 over 3 times 4, negative 16 over 3. Plus 5 to both sides, right? That becomes negative 16 over 3 plus 5 is negative 1 over 3. Again, I'm not going to show over the fraction. If you need help with fractions, let me know, but you should just plug into your calculator. Your calculator might display a decimal, then just change the decimal into a fraction, okay? You have a button for that. So there you go. That covers all the perpendicular problems in the homework solution, which is Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, Part 2 test review.